Now let's do this lab, and this is requires something, your two thing which I told you, the two software which we are going to use. One is a Git for Windows and the Visual Studio Code. So these are the two software which we are going to use. uh, the parts unlimited which we have just now morning, which we have created a project, the same project we are going to modify, or you can say pull that project into our Visual Studio Code. We are going to modify the code and we are going to update the code back to the server so that will be able to do a check-in check-out. Okay, so this is saying that download Git Visual Studio Code, and you should have a Visual Studio code with the C# extension installed into that. Okay, so let's start the Visual Studio and try to do this lab here. Okay, so I'm opening a Visual Studio Code. Okay, once you open a Visual Studio Code, okay, once you open the Visual Studio Code, you can move to you can go to something called terminal. Okay, click on terminal and click on new terminal. Okay, so once you click on new terminal, and below down here there is a command prompt where get open. Okay, now here we have to run a few commands. So if you look at the lab, there is a command which is available here. So this is the two command in the terminal I need to run, and that's the PowerShell command. Okay, so we have opened this terminal. Go to the terminal and click on new terminal. You'll get this prompt, and make sure you're selecting a PowerShell window here. Now we need to run this command. Okay, so this we are going to do a credential helper. So git config -- global credential dot helper, so Windows credential. So we are going to set a credential here into this command prompt. Okay, here you can replace, you have to replace your name. Okay, so make sure you replace your name here. So this is your username. So this is your username, and your email ID that need to be replaced here. Okay, these two things I need to replace. Why we have to use this? Okay, so this we are going to use because when we are doing any operation, like whenever we are doing a git operation or commit operation, pull push operation, it is going to take this username and email ID automatically, and it is going to push this information to the Git server. Okay, so automatically this terminal is going to identify that I am going to modify the code into the Visual Studio Code. Okay, so that's what it is going to happen here. Now once that is done, once this setting is done, now we can go ahead and clone the repository. How we can go ahead and clone the repository? We need to go to the repository. So we'll go to the DevOps repository. We'll go inside this project, go to the repository, and click on this clone button on the right hand side. Okay, once you click on clone button, it will give you the URL of the this repository. Okay, so you can click on copy button here, and you can copy the URL, or directly you can click here to open with any of your develop your development environment. Okay, either you can open with the Android Studio, you can work with Eclipse, you can work with PyCharm, you can work with Visual Studio Code, you can work with Visual Studio, or any other other kind of tool which you want to use. You can go ahead and work with that. Okay, so I'm just copying this and I want to clone this project to my local. So I'll copy this clone URL. I'll go back to my Visual Studio Code, and there is something called a command palette. So Control Shift plus P, you will get a command palette. Okay, or go to the view menu, click on command palette, type here the Git clone. So we are going to do a Git clone. So if you type Git, first option is coming a Git clone. Okay, click on that Git clone option, enter the URL which you have just now copied. Okay, and just hit enter. Now it is asking where you want to save the code. So now you are cloning the file. I want to save the code into the D folder, and I'll create a new folder into the D drive, and I'll say this is my uh, Git repo. Okay, and I'll select this location. So once I select this location, my file will start copied, and you can see here down here. Fail to authenticate Git. Why so? Looking for the Git and paths unlimited in progress. Cloning the project. It should ask prompt for the username password, which has not done. Okay, so let me try again. Command palette, git clone, URL, enter, P drive, git repos, select repository. Actually, it should prompt for the username password, which is not happening. Let me try to reopen. Yeah, now it's prompting the username password. Earlier it was having some issue. I'm not sure what was the problem. And it will ask you the username password, which you have to enter the DevOps username password. Okay, and it will authenticate. It will try to copy the files here. And once the file is copied, there is an open button will come here. Click on open button, and which will open the code into the Visual Studio itself. Trust authors. Yes, I trust the authors. Okay, that's fine. Okay, now you can see here the code has been copied here, and you can see here this complete source code is available. And if you go to the D drive, same place, you will be having a source control available into the your Git repo. This paths unlimited is copied here. The code is available into my local. Okay, so that's what we can see. The complete repository is available into my local system. Okay, so this is how you can clone the code, and you can clone it locally using a Visual Studio Code. Okay, once the code is copied, Okay, we can go ahead and do the changes into the code, and then you can do the commit operation. So for the changes, what we are trying to do, we are going to the paths unlimited source control, source code, and here we have something called mm, mm, mm. there is a view. Sorry, I need to go to util. What else? Okay, so there is a file called cartitem.cs. So this is the class file which is available into this project. Okay, cartitem.cs. Okay, that's what it is saying here, to modify a bit into this code. Okay, so once we done a clone repository, okay, so we have completed the cloning, and now it is saying that we are going to do the changes in the file. And if you look at this, that's what it's saying, that this is the cart item dot cs file. We can go ahead and edit this file. We'll add only the comment. We are not going to modify any code. We're just going to add a line of comment in the code. Okay, so here I am going to add just a comment called my first changes. Okay, so I have changed this code, and once you click change this code, you just say that control S. Now you have saved the changes. Okay, once you do the save changes, in this right hand side, okay, let me highlight this. In right hand side here, once you do the changes, the one changes, it will say that it has been started, but you have done a small change, one changes in the source control, and that's the one pending changes which is available, and that you have to push to the server. Currently I am doing these changes into my working directory. Okay, this is not available currently. The changes which I have did, it's not available into my local repo. So I need to click on this button, and then I will say I want to do a commit operation. So I'll just write in a valid comment here, and I say I want to commit the file, and this is the checkbox button. Check button is available here to commit the changes. Once you click on this, it will take my changes and it will get committed. Where it is getting committed, it is only going to get committed into my local repository. Okay, it is not available till now into the DevOps. Okay, so in the my remote repository, this changes is not yet available. Now if you look at the small down arrow here, okay, if you can see here, so it is looking for the small changes are available which need to be synchronized or need to be pushed onto the remote repository. So if you hover your mouse, it is saying one push commit to the origin master is pending. Okay, do you want to push the changes? Once you click on this button, what happens, it will start pushing the changes to the remote repository. Okay, now the changes are done, and if you go and check the changes into your DevOps, okay, remote repository, the changes will be available over there, and the latest changes is there. How you can check? You can go to the commits and you can see that this is my last my commit. Okay, and I have did, and this is what I have did just now. If you click on this commit, you will be able to see what the changes I have did into this file. Okay, so that you will be able to see into this commit file. Okay, so you can pull the you can clone the code, then you are going to do the changes. After the changes, you are going to do the commit operation, and after the commit operation, you are going to push the changes to the remote repository. Okay, so you will be able to do the changes, and then you can go ahead and review the changes there onto the server. Sorry. Okay, once the changes are done here, the first changes are done. Now I'm going to do some other changes as well into the code. Okay, So there is something, this is the cart item. I'm going to say this is my, not first change, now it is a second change for me. I'm doing a changes second time. If I say control S, one changes will be active here. Okay. And another thing, I have a category.cs as well. I'll go inside the category.cs and I'll say something called this is my, I am adding another comment here, my third changes. Okay. So I have changed the two file. One is a cart item.cs, another is category.cs. I did a two changes. If I'll control S, I'll do here, it will say the two changes are available. Okay, so now I have modified a two file changes, and I am thinking that still whatever the changes which I am doing in the category.cs, it's not yet completed. Okay, it's just changes which I have did, and maybe a placeholder, or maybe a method I am writing but it is not yet completed, or this file is giving an error for me. I don't want to push the changes, but when I go here and try to commit the operation, it will commit both the file and it will try to push the both the changes to the server. Okay, so there is an option called a stage changes. Okay, so in the Git you have something called, you see the plus symbol here. So if you click on the plus symbol, you are going to add the changes to the stage. Okay, click on the plus symbol. What happened, the cart item is added into the stage changes, and this is the category.cs is still available into the changes section. So this is available in the stage changes. Now I can go ahead and say that I want to only do the commit or push for the stage changes. I don't want to push the changes which is available in the category.cs. Okay, because this development is not yet completed. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll say plus, and it has added to the stage changes, and now I'll say I want to commit only the stage changes. Okay, I'll click on these three dots. I want to do a commit, and I want to do a commit stage. If I'll say commit stage, it is asking a comment here. I'll say my stage changes. Okay, and I'll hit enter. What happened, commit will start and only that changes has been pushed to the local repository. And now you can see still this changes is available into my Visual Studio code to get committed. Okay, again this commit only happen locally. Still this commit is not available onto the server, because whenever you are doing a commit, it's only the local commit, it is not push the changes to the server. That commit is not available. Okay, so what I'll do here, I'll go to Visual Studio Code and I'll click on this push button to update the master branch. Okay, so this is saying that commit to the master branch. I'm just clicking on this, it will try to refresh and it will push the changes to the server. Okay, once the changes are pushed to server, I can go ahead and refresh the code here, and you will be able to find my latest state changes are available. And if I'll click here, only one file which is available, and the earlier it was my first changes, now it has been removed as my second changes, which has been removed. One line is removed, another line is added. So that's what the changes you will be able to review, you will be able to see into the DevOps section. Okay, are we fine till here?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's that is the way you can go ahead and actually play around the your repository and do those changes here. Okay, another thing, you can go ahead and compare the files directly into the Visual Studio Code. So Visual Studio Code, if you go and I want to do a compare, you just click on this and you'll be able to see what was the earlier code, what was the current code. So that is also available, because this is trying to compare from your local repository and your current changes which has happened. So you can go ahead and do the comparison. Also you can do the comparison into your into your repo as well, you will be able to see those comparison, what was there before and what is current changes. Okay, so that you will be able to see. If you go to the commits here, you can see there are this is a straight line going on because we have always tried to do the master changes. But if you see here, it is trying to create another branch and then it is pushing back the code to the master branch. Okay, so because it is merging the code to the master branch. So this is actually an example of a parallel master branch is going on, and you are taking a branch out from the master, you are doing the changes and you're merging back the changes to the master branch. So this is the example which is available. Okay, and whatever the file you have, you can just go here and just click on these three dots. You can just go and see, browse the file. You can see the files, what are the files has happened, what was the earlier file, what was the new file. So those things you will be able to see into the file section as well here. Okay, you can go here, commits, click on this, browse files. It will take you to the files. You can go to the repository. Okay, and go to the source control. This is what we have changed inside the models. Okay, and this is what your cart item.cs file, you can go ahead and see. Okay, so once you go inside this file, you will be able to see this is the change history. If you click on history, you will be able to see all the commits, who has changed, when it has been changed, what was the old code, what is the new code. If you want to compare, you will be able to compare. Okay, which which file you want to compare. So I want to compare with this file. So this was the file earlier, now the file has been changed. Okay, but everything you will be able to do in the source control. Okay, so this is how you will be able to look into this. Coming to this here into your Visual Studio Code. Okay, one thing which you see here, we are doing a changes directly into the master branch. Okay, so this is a master branch which is available and we are doing the changes. Now I need to create another branch from the master branch. Okay, so what I'll do here, I want to create another branch parallel to the master branch. I want to take a copy of the master branch. This is a master branch which is going on. I want to take a copy. I want to make something called development branch. I want to do the development, and later on, once I'm happy, I can go ahead and merge the branch with the master branch. So I want to create a parallel branch parallel to the master branch. Okay, so you just click on this master. Okay, on the left hand side corner there is something called master repo is available. Click on that master. It will take you the command palette. This is the command palette. It gets opened here, and you have something called create new branch from. Okay, so you want to create a new branch from the master. Okay, click on this create new branch from and type your dev name of the new branch which you want to create. I'll type a dev and just click on enter. What happens, our head will be get created. What is this head? Basically, head is talking about a number which you are deriving from the master. You see the master is having a same number, and now head also got the same number. I click on head, I'll get a dev branch here. What this dev means, okay, so when you are starting a master branch, I am taking a copy from here. So whatever the number, okay, there is a number that is called head number. I am going to take a new branch, so I will get a same number for my dev branch. Okay, so same number you will get for dev branch. Okay, so that's what the head number will get copied, and when you are going to merge that branch, then a new head number gets generated. So head basically talks about that what the current some you can current unique number or latest number which you have with that particular change. Okay, so this is what head number is. So now currently we are in the dev branch and we have created a new changes. Now whatever I am going to do the changes, now we are going to do the changes into the dev branch, not in the master branch. And you can see here there is a, because this I created at locally. Okay, where we have created into the local system. This dev branch is, the dev branch is available in the repo? No. So we currently don't have this dev branch available into the DevOps as of now. You can see here branch list, no dev branch is available. Okay, I have created a locally a dev branch. Now what I have to do, I have to publish these changes. Okay, so this is a button again available to publish the changes to the remote. Click on this publish button. What happens, it goes try to refresh that, and what happens, a new dev branch will get created onto the remote repository. So if I try to refresh here, I get a new branch called dev branch, which is available into the Azure repo, and that is a replica of the same master branch which is available. So if you see this number, commit number, and the master commit number, both are same. Okay, let me highlight here. So this commit and the master commit is completely same. Sorry, this commit and this commit. So both is having a same copy of the file is available here. Okay, so now the dev branch is available into both the places. Okay, one more thing which I wanted to show you. Let's suppose that now I am doing changes into the dev branch. Okay, and I'm committing this code. Okay, uh, latest code. Okay, I am pushing the changes to the dev branch, not to the master branch. You can see here it's dev branch. And now if I'll try to see that, okay, if I'll go to the commits, I will be able to see the my new changes has happened into the dev branch. It is saying the dev branch has been updated. Currently I'm looking at the master branch. I need to select a dev branch, then only I'll be able to see the new changes. Okay, so latest changes I have did, and it is also saying here you have a dev just now, the recent changes which has been done in the dev. Do you want to create a pull request? Okay, what is this pull request talks about? Basically you can go to the left hand side, there is a pull request option which is available. Click on this pull request, and it is saying create a pull request or new pull request. If I say new pull request, means I want to merge a file from dev to the master. Okay, and you can see here it will take the changes from the dev. So whatever the changes has happened in the dev branch, okay, I modify this category.cs, and that's what the third changes which I was having. I want to push these changes to the master branch. Okay, so I'll say okay, I want to, or the latest changes need to update, uh, need to be updated to master. Okay, I can put some description, I can enter some reviewer email ID. Okay, so I can add a required approval, I can enter optional approval, those things I can go ahead and add. Okay, and I'll say the commit. Okay, so now this request will go to the particular reviewer, and reviewer has to check the code. Okay, he has to verify the code and he need to approve. Once the approve is done, I'll say complete, and the code will be completed and code will be merged to the product, to the master branch. Now if I'll go to the commit, and now you try to refresh the to the master branch, and now you will be able to see, okay, this was the master, and you got the same thing here. I took a code out from here. Okay, I did a changes this one. Okay, so in this branch I did a code changes, and after the code changes, what I did, did a merge with the master. Okay, so this is the I taken a branch out, did a code changes, raise a code review, and finally merge back to the master branch. So this is how you will be able to do the development, or parallel development with the another branch. You can create a feature branch, you can create a development branch, you can create a bug fix branch. Those things you can create, you can do the changes and merge back to the master. Okay, so that you will be able to achieve it. Okay, now if I'm going to delete this dev branch, okay, from the Azure repo, so I have a branch called dev, and I don't need this branch now. I want to delete this branch. I'll go here and say I want to delete a branch. Now the branch has been deleted from the DevOps. But still, if you go here into the local, the dev branch is available. Okay, because my local repository is completely separate from the production repository. Okay, so we have a dev branch already available into my local. For that, what I have to do, I have to clean up my local dev branch as well. Okay, I don't want to keep the local dev branch. So first, I can't be there in the dev branch and delete the dev branch. That is not possible. So I need to go to the master branch. Okay, so I have moved to the master branch. Now I can delete my dev branch now. Okay, now I'll go back to the command palette and I'll say I want to do something called git delete. Okay, I want to git delete branch. Okay, which branch? Dev branch I want to delete because I am in the master, so it's populating a dev branch. Okay, now the something called I'm deleting a branch, so branch has got deleted. Okay, but still if I click on this master, you see one thing, still it is showing the dev origin is available. Locally only master is available, locally dev has got deleted, but it is also still having a reference of something called origin dev branch. So origin dev branch refers to a DevOps branch which I have deleted from the portal. Okay, so this is not available, but still the reference is available into my local you can say the repository. Okay, if I want to delete this, what I have to say, I have to go again back to the command palette and I need to write something called git fetch prune. Okay, so git fetch prune help you to just you can say update the origin branch to the local with the snapshot. Okay, so whatever the snapshot or it is deleted, which is no longer available, so whatever is available or deleted branch, it is try to refresh that branch. It will take a snapshot of that branch and it will refresh you into the local system. So git fetch prune, I click on this and what happens, it is trying to run the command here. If you try to see in this something called output window. Okay, yeah, so if you look at something called DOS. Okay, and git. Okay, yeah, so you can select a git and then you can see what it is doing. Actually it is just trying to clean up those remote branch which is already deleted. Okay, and now if you click on this master, now you will not be able to see origin dev, because what happened, I run the git prune and it has just refreshed my branch into my local system. Okay, so that you will be able to do it here. Okay, so just remember this command because these are the part of your labs and these commands could come in your examination as well, as part of what this command does. Okay, so try to use this command, try to run this command, what we are doing with each and every command, so that you have to try to understand with this command. Okay, so this is what git delete, git what is the git delete is doing, what is the git fetch prune is doing. So these are all the details are mentioned here as well into this lab. Okay, so they can give a scenario based question or these commands could come in the examination as well. Okay, so this is what we are doing with the basically the with the git. Okay, and yeah, so one thing is not here actually. Okay, so uh, if you're creating a branch, okay, so if I want to create a branch, like we have seen the branch creation from the GitHub, also we can create a branch directly from the portal itself. Okay, so you can go and create a new branch. Okay, so if you click here in the branches and click on create new branch, you can give the name of the branch. Okay, let's suppose that I want to create something called feature branch or something. I want to create a feature branch. I want to create from the master branch. And you can see here the work item. Why this is important? Because I'm creating a feature branch and I want to work on the specific feature onto this branch. Okay. So I can say I want to work on this feature for the product backlog item, or I want to work on this product training feature. So you can click on this link. What happened? This feature gets linked to your branch. So anyone who comes to this feature branch, they can see, okay, this feature branch is you are working for so and so feature or so and so issues which you are working, or what kind of development you are going. So that what you are doing, basically you are directly referring your branch to the work item on which you are working on, and just click on create. A branch will get created and you have the reference is already available with this feature branch. Okay, so that you will be able to do it here. And if I want to use this branch in the GitHub, how I can use that? Then you have to go to the same place, go to the command palette. Okay, another command, that is a git fetch. So you have to do a git fetch, and once you click on git fetch, what happens? You will be able to get a feature branch available here. Okay, so now the feature branch is available onto your system. You can directly go and work onto that feature branch, do the changes and work with that. Okay, so how to fetch the branch which has been created into the portal? You can use a git fetch command to fetch the branch which is available into the portal. Okay, that you can do that. And another thing, something called a locking of the branch. So the feature which is available, there is something called feature is available into the branch. If I want to lock the branch, so there is something called a lock option is available. So this is the lock option. If you go to this branch, click on this three dot, you will get a lock option. Okay, so if you want to do a lock, means you want to lock the branch. I don't want to accept any changes into this branch. This branch was last deployed or something deployed on production, and it was the having a good feature on that, and I don't want to lose that changes. Okay, so I can go ahead and lock the branches. Once the branches are locked, no one will be able to modify or do the changes or commit operation onto this branch. Okay, so that's the one feature you have. Another thing, you have something called tagging. So if you see these tags, okay, you can tag the branch feature. Okay, so there is a something called tagging is available. You can create a new tag. Okay, you can click on create tag. You can give the name of the tag, like this is a version 1.1 for the master branch, or any other branch like feature branch. I can select the feature branch as well. I can tag the branch feature. This was the good release or great release, whatever you want to say. This was the good release which was deployed under production, and I'll just click on create. Now what you can see here, this is the version 1.1 deployed. If I'll click here, it will take me to the branch changes which has been tagged with that, and this is my feature branch. Okay, so the latest code is available. I have a tagging, I can refer always. Okay, so this was the version 1.1 deployed to the production, and this was the good release. Okay, also I have a lock on the server on those code. I can refer that code so that no one will be able to modify that code. Okay, clear for everyone? So these are the few feature we have into the source control, which we can use those feature into the Azure DevOps. Okay, so that you can go ahead and utilize those feature in order to do that. Okay, and other than this, you have something called you can go and create a new repository here. So currently you have something called new repository option. You can go here, Git or TFVC, what kind of repository you want to. You can give the new repository name here, new repo, and then you can go ahead and create that repo. Okay, so that way you will be able to create a new repository. Also, you can see here earlier parts unlimited was there. Now I have another repository, so I can push the another code. Like why multiple repositories required? Let's suppose that this is my web application. This repository is for my something called you can say the services. Another is I am going to create a business layer. Another I am going to create a store something called database scripts. So there could be a multiple you can say you can add a repository within the project. So this is my one project, and within the project I have a multiple repository, one project for the website, another project for the services, another project for the database layer, and you can have a multiple repository created over there. Okay, so that way you will be able to see the repository as well into this list. Okay, and yeah, and if you go to the project setting, you will be able to see your all those repositories are available here. So I have a two repository, one is parts unlimited, one is a new repository. If you want to delete this repository, you can go ahead and delete the repository here. So you have to just type the name of the repository and click on delete. So my repository has got deleted here. Okay, now you can see here that's what we talk about in the slides as well. There is a something called new repository. You can click here also to add a new repository. Here also you have option called new repository, that is also you can go ahead and create. Another you have an import repository. If you click on import repository, it is basically asking that what is the repository type, is it TFVC or it is a Git repository which you want to migrate, and if you have to give the complete URL of your repository, and if you import, the repository will get imported. So you can see the documentation of the importing Git and TFVC. What happened? The importing repository for the Git and TFVC. Yeah, so this is the documentation which is Microsoft provides how you can go ahead and import. So once you are clicking on import, you can go ahead